Dan travelled on various roads to get to the Fuji Speedway, and there to greet him were over 300 RX-7s and any number of early model rotaries, and they're celebrating the 40th birthday of the RX-7.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought the standard practice for turning 40 was to buy a Harley-Davidson and have a midlife crisis. But it seems it's not the same for cars. This year, the iconic RX-7 turns 40. And to say happy birthday, Mazda has thrown it a party like nothing else. This is the Fuji Speedway, and it's been packed full of nearly 300 RX-7s, RX-8s, RX-3s, and pretty much anything you can think of that was powered by a rotary. If you think we go nuts for rotaries in Australia, wait till you see how they do it in Japan. For those Mazda fans that don't like their Mazdas looking like Mazdas, there's something for you too. Take this for example, an RX-8 with some kind of Jaguar-esque grille and these frankly horrid wing adornments which cover up the headlight and make it look like something else, capped off all by the ultimate accessory, a roof cage. And if you want your Mazda to not look like a Mazda but not be fugly at the same time, then what about this? Porsche 911 headlights. So, the rotary engine. What is all the fuss about? Well, at the centre of the rotary engine is one of these, the rotor. Except this isn't quite a rotor, this is a cuddly toy that looks a lot like a rotor. The difference between this and a piston engine is pistons have to change direction, whereas the rotor doesn't, it just keeps spinning faster and faster. The problem though, on the face seals and the apex seals, you get wear, and that causes reliability problems. But do you think rotary enthusiasts care about that? Of course not, because they sound like this. Today is not just about a show and shine. There is real hardware on the track in anger, and the Fuji Speedway is hosting the latest round of the MX-5 Cup as well. Well, at a celebration that is dedicated to the rotary engine, I know what you're thinking. There's one absentee, possibly the royalty, the very king of rotary engines. It is, of course, this, the Mazda 787B. I can't believe it's actually here. In 1991, this car embarrassed all the opposition in France, winning the Le Mans 24-hour race. Underneath here, you've got a quad-rotor rotary engine there, producing 800 horsepower, an absolutely iconic car here, and frankly, one of the highlights of my entire trip. Now, it'd be silly to come all this way and spend a whole day hanging out with a bunch of rotary maniacs if I'm not going to get my own hands on something rotary-powered. So I had a little sit-down with Mazda, and after a few sakes, they're going to let me drive this. This is the third-generation RX-7, or FD as it's known, and it's the very last model that Mazda made. But this particular car is special for two reasons. One, it's only got 43,000 kilometers on the clock. And second of all, it's one of only two RX-7s that Mazda owns in its private collection. One stays in the museum and never goes anywhere, so this is the only one you can drive on the road. That's why I'm going to drive it really carefully. Under the bonnet is a twin rotary 13B engine. It has a hugely complex twin turbo system bolted to it, which makes this little 1.3 engine produce 280 horsepower. When I put my toe down, those two turbos are working really hard. The RX-7 might be 40 years old as far as a nameplate goes, but at its core is the rotary engine, and it still works beautifully well. I cannot believe how fast this car is, and I cannot believe how it revs. The technology is infallible. The RX-7 is like no other car on the road, and there's certainly nothing quite like a rotary engine.